Well, welcome in, gentlemen. Welcome in for day 5 of our emotional mastery training. We might have Chesterfield joining us this morning, a little more than usual. Just letting you know, because I don't have another warm body in the house to attract him. So I'm going to ignore him or allow him to be here. But he shouldn't bother us that much. So I wanted to start this morning off with a reading because when we bring in this week, we've been practicing the same 5 stages, right? We've been coming into the body, we've been practicing somatic meditation. And then we layered in the concept, right? And I'm very specific with that word, the concept of emotional mastery, okay? And the embodiment of emotional mastery. And when we bring in, good morning, Manuel, when we bring in emotional mastery, so Manuel, what I was just sharing is that we're on day 5 of our 5-day emotional mastery training. And what I want you guys to notice is that we did the same somatic meditation practice and that we did last week, which was coming into the body and coming into the soma, the non-conceptual body, the direct experience of the body. And when I say this, I actually remember moments like Manuel, like when you've talked about feeling shame, right? Or a look when you noticed feeling a pain in your shoulder and then noticing it sequence and change. Or Jim, when you've noticed you had a moment of noticing your of experiencing your central channel, right? And then at other times, like the desire to experience it again, right? Or the noticing that it wasn't the same experience as it was last time, right? And what I want to point out is the difference between the conceptual body and the soma, the somatic body, okay? And I'm going to read a reading here because this is so important to both intellectually understand and directly experience. And that's that in somatic meditation, the teaching is we are actually coming into the body, and our intention is to experience the body without the conceptual overlay. So when I'm feeling something on in the body, these layers and layers of experience, even the gurgle in my belly, like my belly just made an audible sound just now, and I said, "Oh, I'm hungry." I put meaning behind that as opposed to feeling it fully and completely. And this is such a beautiful gift. I've heard it said that this is falling in love with your pain, falling in love with your trauma, falling in love with your body, falling in love with the experience of your life. And love is not an emotion. Love is the ability to be with any and all emotions. So when I'm feeling something in the body, even if I'm labeling it, any label of it is a concept. Any label. Oh, this is trauma. And at first, in some way, that helps us conceptualize it. It helps us develop some form of understanding of why do I feel the way that I feel. But what it also does is it blocks us from allowing it to move and from being able to experience it fully. Because now, instead of this sensation being something that might be completely and utterly natural, and so natural, it's supernatural that it can move and change, I have in some way fixed it as being negative or being trauma or being not a part of my body, not a part of the soma, not a part of the natural environment. And so this week, though, we spent this week, and in the creative process we were moving through, we were intentionally labeling, bringing in the concept of emotional awareness, right? Almost to make the connection between this, or in order to make the connection between the somatic practice and bringing our somatic practice out into our life to develop emotional fitness, right? Or emotional mastery, right? And emotional mastery and emotional fitness is all about conceptual labeling, right? Because I'm looking at these components, right? These emotional vocabulary, emotional embodiment, emotional granularity, emotional differentiation, emotional balance, emotional agility, emotional contagion, and then today, a present state of a calm mind. But what I want to point out, and this is for maybe after, when for later, do you guys remember this chart? The arrows, and then the one over here. The emotional episode timeline. I just want to, like, those arrows. So many. I want to work with a concrete example, and it's not you. I want you to know that it's not about you, but it's about a concrete example that we have engaged on. When I'm feeling something in the body and I label it as shame or trauma, there is now there is a bottom up to that and a top down. And I have a perceptual database, and the sensation in the body is acting. I have a precondition, and then I have the sensation in the body that's acting as a trigger. And that's sending a message up to my brain, and then finding other sensational moments or images or ideas that are related to the way that that feels. And this is what trauma is, right? Like, trauma is too much for too soon, too much for too long, or not enough for too long. And it's trapped in the body. But in order to be able to heal, in order to be able to allow a healing experience to occur, we actually have to get out of that conceptual overlay, and we have to be able to actually fully feel what happened. And this is so paradoxical. This is so much a process of coming into the body and noticing our tendency to tighten up or to judge or to conceptualize, and with the breath, allowing the breath to do the work. And just notice how we have these like tools, like allow the breath to do the work. The breath is life, the breath is inspiration. It's like we have these tools to escape that, the conceptual overlay. So my whole reason for sharing all of this today was to make sure that on our final day together, when we come back and we listen to these again and we keep practicing, is to make sure that we fully and deeply appreciate the somatic journey. I'd even say, like, at this stage of my own life, I'm safe to say that I don't know if I need emotional mastery as much as I crave and trust the somatic practice, right? Like I spend a lot of time judging and a lot of time uh, conceptualizing and a lot of time trying to fit into my life or to get things to go the way that I want them to, or to get back into my body. And the somatic practice is the path in. I'm going to read a page here from the Awakening Body. Since the kind of meditation I want to teach you in this book is in many aspects and respects quite different from what is conventionally understood as meditation in our modern culture, I want to say a little more about it. Meditation, approached as a somatic practice, involves two aspects. The first involves paying attention to our body and bringing our conscious intention and focus to and into our physical form. Sometimes we pay attention to individual parts of our body, even very minute parts. Other times, we're attending to our body, our soma, as I prefer to call it, as a whole, the energy body. Sometimes our attention will be on physical sensations, other times on body-wide events and patterns, others again on the subtle energies that flow through our body and up our central channel. Other times the spatial environment of our body, and other times still on the physical boundary of our body, deep into the ground in the environment around us. The envelope of our skin. The second aspect of somatic meditation is exploring, with openness and acceptance, and without any prejudice, judgment, or conscious agenda whatsoever. I'm going to read that again. The second aspect of somatic meditation is exploring, with openness and acceptance, and without any prejudice, judgment, or conscious agenda whatsoever. In this manner, this is no simple thing, especially since our entire conscious life as humans is typically maintained and protected by the ego thing. By not paying attention in this open and unrestricted way, rather, we habitually direct our attention away from our body and its raw, infinitely expanding, unprocessed experience to our thinking mind with its labeling, judging, contextualizing, narrativizing of more of or less everything our body knows, thus severely limiting and hiding from our conscious awareness what is actually somatically there. So step one in somatic meditation is to come to and into the body and attend. And then step two is to open our consciousness into the interior wakefulness that is going on under the surface. Perhaps the notion of inherent wakefulness of the body in its enlightenment or essentially realized state may strike the reader as unfamiliar, slightly mystifying, or even implausible. I hope that by the end of this book, you will have a much more clear and concrete understanding, and more important, the two aspects that correspond to what are typically called mindfulness, samsara, and awareness, vipassana, found in virtually all forms of Buddhist meditation. In most conventional teaching of mindfulness, the body is generally left out, despite some body-focused elements, such as attending to the breath or the occasional use of body scans, as in the work of popular meditation teacher S.N. Goenka, 1924 to 2013. While such approaches are helpful up to a point, they are limited because for them, The body is typically a stepping stone to something else, rather than being an object of exploration in and of itself. When we examine on its own terms, we discover that the body has many internal dimensions that are hidden to the superficial view, and many, many layers of experience beneath the obvious sensations. This is the final piece here. The situation in relationship to meditation and the body is quite confusing because, given the increasing importance attributed to the body in the contemporary culture these days, nearly every meditation teacher wants to say they are including the body, but such claims raise some important questions. The body is included to what extent and in what ways? Does the instruction really move us definitively away from left brain orientation? And has anything fundamentally changed in the practitioner's process and maturation over time? Meditation that is truly somatic always implies radical transformation in our state of being. The unfortunate result, I just want to pause there. I the that line, meditation is true, that is truly somatic, always implies radical change and transformation in our state of being. That has scared me in my practice. I have felt myself change and been scared to change, and then went back into my head for a period of time. And so I just want to appreciate that. The unfortunate result, but then came back because, yeah, the unfortunate result of underplaying the body and its totality in much of mindfulness awareness instruction is that we are not really addressing, let alone working through, the pernicious and debilitating disembodiment that affects virtually everyone in modern societies. A disembodiment that sabotages our physical, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. When the meditator does not address his or her disembodiment in a fundamental and decisive way, particularly on the spiritual level, any kind of meditation carried out is more likely to lead eventually to the complete cul-de-sac of disconnection and disassociation, a dead end from which, because of sophisticated techniques and defensive rationalizations that can be built up in the practice itself, escape is extremely difficult. When we approach meditation as an essentially, I would almost say, purely somatic discipline, then everything changes. Most important, the spiritual journey is now seen not as separating oneself from samsara, from all that is physical, worldly, impure, and problematic, but quite to the contrary, as a process of deeper and deeper entry into the very domains of our existence. When we do this, we discover that it is precisely within the interior reality of those aspects of our fully embodied, visceral life that our most important discoveries occur. Our true spiritual journey can only unfold and lasting, all-inclusive. The true spiritual journey can unfold, and lasting, all-inclusive transformation is able to come about. In fact, authentic realization, we see, can only happen when we abandon the outside standpoint of our left brain, the judging ego mind, and plunge into the innermost depths of our ordinary, unprocessed human experience, which can only be tapped into in the body. That everything that I do and that we do in the Unshakable Man is about becoming whole. Everything is about becoming whole. And becoming whole is in the body. It's not leaving anything out, right? And it's the most challenging and real work we can do. And so I just want to leave that there. I'll make sure to put that in the notes. Thank you so much for waiting and for just receiving that. I just felt like that was important to share as we close our practice here for our final day, gentlemen. Let's all start to arrive and to inhale in our nose and out our mouth. And today we come into our bodies and let's open to the experience of what's happening in our bodies in a non-conceptual way. Go ahead and find your strap. I notice myself labeling the quality of how I'm feeling right now, joy. And the only way I know how to let that go is to fall down into the ground. And just allow the breath to escape and begin your 12-fold lower belly breathing. Nine. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Just returning to normal breathing. So on this next round, we're going to allow our awareness to expand and to open on the inhale. And as we reach about the midpoint of our inhale, we're going to bring our awareness back in and bring it back into our belly. We're going to push our belly, pull our belly in and push our awareness down into the earth. We're going to use this next round to train our mind to focus on that soft egg-shaped space that opens after you squeeze your belly. Just gonna focus in on that space. Well, here we go. Halfway there. Keep going. You might need to slow it down to really feel into that space. You might need to decrease the size of your inhales. Squeeze, squeeze and release. Okay, 3 more. 2 more. And complete. And here we go again. Let's begin. Softly focusing your attention down in that spot. Notice what happens after you squeeze your belly. After you release it, feel the sensitivity. Allow it to be open and vibrant and teeming with life. halfway there. Make these next 3 squeezes the strongest squeezes you've taken this entire practice. And last one. Beautiful practice. So here, as we begin to roll over, and if you come to half standing or standing, look at your body from a non-conceptual perspective. Notice how much you can feel. Feel all of it. Okay, here we go. And we find our seat. And on your next exhale, go ahead and pick your seat, fall into your seat. And on your next inhale, go ahead and start to breathe down into your left foot. What is it like in there, in this moment? Just begin to explore your left foot. And then travel over to the left big toe. Allowing your entire body to breathe. Breathing in through your left big toe. Then coming back into the ball of your foot. And then up into the arch. And then your heel. And then your entire left foot. Coming up into your ankle. And then into the bottom of your calf. And up into the top of your calf. and then into your knee. Allowing your entire bottom of your leg to turn on. Still allowing your left big toe to be a part of the experience. Then coming up into your thigh. Releasing any tension you find. Then coming up into the top of your thigh, into your pelvic girdle. Breathing in through the left side of your pelvic girdle. Slowing down to the pace of connection. Noticing when your body turns on. Noticing your groin. And then your seat, your taint. Breathing in through that spot. Then coming into the right side. And then just allowing everything from your whole waist down to turn on. Both legs. And then coming into the spot below your belly button. Soft spot, just breathing in through that spot. And then coming through to your tailbone and your lower back. And breathing in through your belly button. And your upper lower back. And the top of your belly. And then your mid back. So you can allow your entire lower half of your torso to turn on. And breathing in through your sternum. And your lower upper back. And coming up to your heart space. And then the middle of your shoulder blades. With each exhale, just releasing tension in your body. And coming up to the top of your chest. Breathing in through the top of your chest. And then coming through your body to the top of your shoulder blades. And coming across to your left side. Just releasing any tension in your whole left arm, all the way down to your fingers. Go ahead and breathe in through the front of your shoulder socket. And go ahead and breathe in through the back of your shoulder socket. And go ahead and connect to the top of your forearm. And breathe into whichever part of your forearm you feel the most. And find a different part of your forearm and breathe into that. Connect those dots. Slow it down. Then coming into the inside of your elbow. And then pausing to feel how your thumb starts to turn on when you feel your elbow. And then connecting all of the space between your hand and your elbow. Breathing into your forearm. Let's pause on our forearm and breathe in through the top of it. And then breathe in through the bottom. What can you feel going into your hand? Allowing the whole palm of your hand to start to turn on. Allowing your body to twitch. Allowing your body to shake if it needs to. Then coming across and linking that energy to your right hand. And your whole right arm, all the way up to your shoulder socket. And allowing the whole energy ball in the front of your body between your arms to turn on. And tracking through your body, coming up to the bottom of your neck. Start to breathe in through the front of your neck. And then coming through to the back of your neck. Feeling into your neck. How does pausing around your neck, how does it change or shift how your face feels? And coming up to your jaw and your tongue. And breathing in through the whole space underneath your nose. Breathing in through your cheeks. And then the muscles around your eyes. Then your forehead. And breathing into the left side of your temple. Just the left side of your face. Now the right side. And then coming up to the bump at the back of your head. And then just settling into the body. Exploring your body. And then start to collect your attention at the bottom of the bump at the back of your head. And just start to come down. It's okay if this is a little more challenging. Start to move down, moving your visual sense down through your body, but also feeling. Just tracking down behind your heart, behind your sternum, behind your belly button, down into your lower back. Then move into that space in the middle of your belly. And then bring your attention down into the space behind your groin. Behind your anal sphincter muscle. Just start to breathe into that space, start to open it up. Slow it down. Okay, we're going to breathe down into our seat cushion. We're going to open up that pelvic girdle. We're going to descend down into the ground. So with each inhale, we're going to push this egg-shaped spot. We're going to push our awareness down into the ground. Go ahead and visualize how far you're breathing down into the earth. And breathe into that visualization. Actively pushing your awareness from your belly down into the earth. 4 more. See if you can broaden that visualization. How much bigger can it get? If your prana is life force, your prana is love, send this love out into the world to everyone on the surface of the earth. Send this love through the center of the earth to the person on the other side. Okay, let go of any convention and just breathe down into the earth. Beautiful. Now just feeling your entire body. Feel the energetic form of your body, the pulsing aliveness. Feel your thighs, your fingers, your eyes, your ears. You've really learned a map of how to get here. So now we're going to start to breathe up from those roots into the lower belly. And I invite you to follow along with me, but I also invite you to pause along the way to open your central channel and to directly experience your own central channel. This might mean you move more quickly. It might mean you move more slowly. Go ahead, we're going to breathe down, exhale down into the earth. Just start breathing up into your lower belly. Down in that egg-shaped spot. To do this, you might notice that your head needs to rise. It's as if it's being pulled by a string. The energy in your body wants to come up the central channel. Just starting to open it up. Behind the belly button. Around the mid-back. Behind the sternum. Behind the heart. Releasing any tension on your exhale that you've built up along the way. Moving past the heart up into the chest. Into the neck. Slowing down to the pace of connection behind the mouth. And up into the bump of the back of the head. Going back down into the belly and moving up through the channel. allowing the energy of the central channel to be immaculate, open, unconditioned, and doing your best not to label or to judge, just moving anything that's blocking that channel out of the way. We're not ignoring anything in the body, we're just moving out that space, clearing out that space. You might notice that your body starts to wiggle, almost like you're pushing a ridge in a rug out. Each time just relaxing into the central channel, wherever you are in it. When you're ready, go ahead and come to rest. Don't move. Notice the movement inside the body when you don't move. So I'm going to bring our ears over our shoulders. Chin is slightly down. And ever so slightly, go ahead and move forward, feeling your central channel. Okay, and then move back and find that perfect spot. Where you feel like it's the most open to you. Then go ahead and move to the left. And then pass the center line to the right. Then just simply relax into this posture. Bring your awareness down into your belly. Something to experience, exploring your body. Coming back down with each breath into that immaculate open space in your hara, the dantian, the egg, and allowing that life force to come up into the body. Opening you to experience more. This concludes our practice. May your practice continue for the good of everyone and everything. May you get what you're looking for. If you come out of your practice and you open your eyes, go ahead and see what it's like to stay in your body. What experience do you have? What can you feel in your body as you start to engage with the space around you? Can you maintain a sense of your central channel? Can you maintain a sense of the dark, vibrant, open space in your belly? Can you feel inside of your hands and your arms and your thighs? And as you take your first set of movements, just start to feel it like you're stepping off of your cushion into your life. You're moving out into your life to engage with your life, to be with your life in the most open way that you can. It's beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for being a part of this container. The floor is open.
That was, for me, I think the best meditation on somatically I ever had.
That's wonderful.
I can't exactly explain why, but
Yeah. Rather than why, what about it? What sensationally did you notice?
well, I could definitely feel a lot of movement in my back, which presumably was the central channel. Um, I just the breathing got into such a rhythm that I was able, my brain just basically shut off. And an occasional discursive thought came in, but it quickly went away, like just vaporized. And I was able just to feel my body,
That,
and
that's beautiful.
various feelings would pop up. Some would stay, some would go away. I wasn't. I deliberately didn't try to understand it or analyze it. Just said, okay, feel something in my left thigh. I feel my back is much more energized, and I kind of just decided to go with the flow. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can say.
I think, yeah, yeah. When I used to say my brain turned off too, but now I like to say that my right brain turned on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, because I noticed you didn't fall asleep.
No, no, I was
Yeah,
wide awake the whole time. That hasn't always been the case, but today definitely I was wide awake. I even thought
yeah,
that I did have a thought about that at one point. I'm wide awake.
yeah, yeah. Did Have you guys had an experience of feeling something, um, realizing, oh wait, maybe I'm visualizing this, and then feeling something else around it? Like, it's hard to describe it, but there's some, like, you can feel around where you're bringing your attention, and then maybe having like something else in your body, like your finger twitch or move, and then noticing that there's a space that you can connect that maybe was numb or just not getting your attention before, and that there's a direct experience, not a concept, like a direct experience of being able to feel something that before you were visualizing. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. Do you How do you respond to it?
Mm,
Do you like
uh,
it?
I do like it. Yeah, it's like being aware, becoming aware that something like that can happen. And it's kind of, oh wow, kind of, oh.
Hmm. Yeah, you just did your eyes like are more important to me than what you're saying. Like you're like, oh, wow, oh, neat, like, right? And that that is, to me, when want to connect this to what I read. I think that that's what they mean by the wakefulness of the body,
Mm.
right? That there's that when we slow down, we feel it. Like I'm conceptualizing how my back should feel. Like I have this idea of it, and then all of a sudden, like my balls turn on, or my groin, or I get an itch, but it's not an itch. It's like a tingliness, right? And
Yeah, I, yeah.
your eyes to me were like the eyes of someone who's exploring, right? You're not you're not going ouch, like ouch, ooh, that's scary, or ooh, that's bad. You're saying, ooh, wow, what's going on in there, right?
I've been thinking like, oh, I didn't know that my body can do that, or I can do that. I
Mhm.
didn't know that. Like, yeah. Um, Today, for example, for instance, with today practice, I use this word. I'm gonna say discovery, right? Because it's kind of learning, and then you learn every day, and then some days you learn different things. But body feel different days. This is what I've been feeling during this week. I mean, during the days, and then it's been kind of increasing. And today, my body has felt during the practice. So I've been, I noticed that I feel different from yesterday, for
Mm,
example. So that was very interesting to notice today.
yeah, yeah.
It was more focused on just the body, what the body feels. And
Hmm.
whenever I noticed something, I didn't put a label.
Hmm. Good. That.
Numbness, um, so ache, ache, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And mhm.
You know the words that I use that are like vibrant and open and teeming with life, or unconditioned, um, or I say breathe into that space, or allow it to, or push your awareness into this thing. Again, I think I think that these are the types of phrases that are almost like poetic, that are like a bridge from the labeling judgmental mind, right? And you're welcome to steal them. I'm really serious. Like I want you to kind of steal this speech when your own practice, right? Like I noticed today that when I was opening my central channel, when I was breathing down into the earth, um, when I was teaching the earth descent, and I was speaking more loudly, and I was speaking more conceptually, like breathe 6 feet down, or 10 feet down, or 30 feet down, or into the earth, versus when I started to softly inhale into the seat, and uh, there was a moment where I felt like I was able to really sink into that space, and then the activity of breathing up into the belly and opening up the channel. There was a moment there where I was like, oh, I haven't I haven't been um, like feeling that space and allowing it to open the central channel for me. Like it was almost like noticing how when I talk, it takes me out of being able to to really be aware of what is actually happening in my belly, right? Like, because my speech gets in the way of my feeling, right? But it's like a layer. It wasn't like I was wrong or bad. It's just like a layer of experience, right? Like, oh, my body, this is how it feels today, right? And earlier, I had like this pain in my lower back. I had this pain in my back and I had a headache. And I told myself, Chris, this is what happens when you eat potato chips before bed. I ate like a bunch of potato chips like at like 9 o'clock at night with
You have to have 2 or 3 or 4. That's
I had about a half a bag sitting in a group and 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 now that headache is gone, right? Like that all of that's gone. No coffee, no nothing, just releasing that tension, right? Allowing to come up. But also I'm fully aware that I shouldn't eat potato chips because of how it makes my body feel, right? Which is to me connecting how this work, right? Like you don't want to stop drinking. You just notice that drinking makes you feel like crap, right? Do you think you guys will go back through in the future and listen to these?
Well, I definitely will.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier to you, a big reason for me to do this and hauling my rear end out of bed at dark 30 for 3 weeks was I want to go back and use and go through these and develop more of a practice than I've had right now because it's been for me haphazard.
Yeah.
And I want to get into a consistent, maybe not every day, but 4 or 5 times a week practice.
Yeah.
And this I'm hoping will give me the tools to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, this was it's very important that I go back through all this and I'm reading
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Ray and
Mm-hmm.
some other folks as well to try to get more of a grounding in it as well.
That
I got
just
to
makes
feed the
me so
left side
happy.
of I got to feed the left side of my brain a little bit. So that's why I read.
Hey, top down, bottom up.
Yep.
80-20.
80-20.
Yeah. That makes me happy to
Like,
hear. Yeah, go ahead, look.
definitely. No, I was just saying uh, uh, like two things this has given me is like the energy. Like after this, the energy that I get like throughout the day is just different. And the second thing is like with this emotional mastery. Uh, One thing I've been noting, like that was hard yesterday, that now instead of like why somebody said this to me and why did it bother me, it has come to a point where it is like why I am feeling this. And I've been practicing like the moment I ask this question, why I'm feeling this, and then I start breathing. Like I had to do it in the middle of the day yesterday, and I'm like, I suddenly feel much better than I was. And there is no question of why this is happening, what is happening.
Yeah.
So those two things are like really like helping me a lot right now.
The whole, what am I feeling? Where do I feel it? And what do I need?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
What do I need? Yes.
it's so, you're practicing that in here and at a whole nother level, right? Like,
Definitely.
whole nother layer. I don't think I've ever co-created a series of a training like this where I so genuinely at the end am curious to go back and to do it myself, to like listen to myself, but not as me, right? Like to just be here with you guys, to hear what you say. I genuinely feel connected to what you said, Jim and Alok, that there's something very, very special about practicing together in our living rooms during the work week in the morning, right? Like this is a visceral practice, right? Like it's real, we all have to go into our lives right now. And I love it. So
sense of connection that we can also have, even though it's virtual, kind of, but it's still. At least I try to be connected to you guys while practicing, and also on our talks. And yeah, it's nice. I also want to keep practicing, like Jim say. I want to develop this kind of consistency. The struggle that I see with myself is just like I feel asleep in the morning, but I think it's because I go too late to bed. So I need to change my habits. But I like this as something that I can develop, like doing every day, and see what happens in the long term.
mm-hmm.
Very about it.
Guys, can I share the seed, the main seed for me, that's allowed my somatic practice to flourish, like the tiny habit. It's the tiny habit that has been the strongest anchor or seed in my somatic practice is creating a tiny habit in my life of laying on the ground and doing 1 round of 12-fold lower belly breathing. Like notice using that as a way to, like, in the afternoon, if I'm feeling hijacked, if I notice I just have some time, like literally just doing it, just laying on the ground and doing, even if I don't have a strap. And I say this because when you allow that to be somatic meditation, it acts as a seed that keeps your practice alive between your formal practice session, right? And
Okay.
changing your body position in the daytime, right? Like you're moving about and you're doing all these things, and then even at the office, right? You just find like a conference room, you shut the door and you lay down and you do 12-fold. You're bringing all of your body's logic back online to be like, hey, and the teaching of the tiny habit method is that what you do is you do that, and then you celebrate that you did it. And if the time, location, and frequency is allowing you to come in to do more, right? Like then, right? Like maybe you do 3 rounds, or maybe you do 1 round and then you find your meditation cushion or a chair, or right. And I really want you guys to take the idea of meditation and I want you to expand it into feeling my body, right? Like we have our practice. You guys know how to do this now. You know how to build your posture in a way that we're already in the top 1% of meditators. And just, you did 5 hours of practice together, right? Now, like when you're sitting with your steering wheel, hands on the steering wheel in the car, and you start breathing, feel your back line, feel your chest, right? Allow yourself to come into your body while you're driving, right? Good job, guys. Anybody have anything you want to share or say to just complete this practice?
Just glad to be here. Yep.
It was really good experience.
Yeah, can I give you guys each like 30 seconds to just say something sweet, and maybe I'll use it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start. So I think with this practice, I have learned to start feeling my body, as opposed with meditation that I usually do is feeling my feelings. Right, just been feeling my body. One of the things that I appreciate is being here in community and feeling connected to the three of you, especially you. I really appreciate that. You wake up every morning, everybody wakes up, and even though it's a little dark, and then you're here with us, guiding us. So I think this is very. I appreciate you very much because this is very beneficial to me, and I can see the results throughout my day, and especially in the 2 weeks. And I think I said before is that I didn't know that the results are going to be that quick, to be honest. But I think it's also because, as maybe some of you, we've been doing meditation before, and this is reinforcing our practice. But still, it's been like this, and it's becoming more aware during my day. And now when you're saying, like even when you drive or doing the tiny habits, this is very helpful.
Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you, Chris.
I would say pretty much what Manuel just said. I found that somatic meditation, at least for me at the beginning, it's very important that it be guided, so I can have someone to help me explore.
Yeah.
My body, the feelings, and start to look at myself and the world very differently. And I think these sessions have been really helpful with this, and it's also, as Manuel mentioned, and it's an important point, it helped ground me further in this community, which I think is important as well. This will be a fantastic resource going forward, because I'm going to want to continue this journey. I mean, this is only still the early days for me. So I'm grateful that you did this. And
Great. I'm grateful that you joined.
It's been a great adventure.
Oh.
This has been an excellent journey, wonderful, majestic, and the transition that you have brought in with this meditation practice, it has just elevated the experience in my life right now. And one big thing I'm taking away from all this is I've started noticing, which has been missing from my life. I have started noticing everything around me and within my body as well. Thank you for organizing this, Chris. I really appreciate it.
I love that. I think one thing that I've just really enjoyed here is just the getting to practice with you gentlemen in my morning, and getting to share my practice with you, and really getting to share the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? Like right now, like going into my day and then returning back here with you guys. I don't think I fully appreciated before going through this experience how nourishing this experience would be, and also how enlivening to my day, like the energy that it has added to my day. Even as a practice, someone who has a practice that I regularly practice Monday through Friday, right? It's very different to really be here with you gentlemen and to share in this love and this energy, this vibe. So thank you so much. I can't wait to do this again with you.
Definitely. And I wanted to share one more thing. As a participant, seeing Jim and Manuel show up every day, that has given me, it brings more energy in you, right? All my folks are showing up every morning, and then you're like, oh, I have to, couple of nights I didn't get to sleep, for some random reasons, and then I'm like, no, I have to get into this because this is so important. So thank you, Jim and Manuel, as well.
That's awesome. Good. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.